A Hollywood actress is warning her fellow celebrities and other influencers out there about the ketogenic diet. Find out why here today on Jimmy Rants. JimmyRants.com is the website, and as always, you can engage live in the content. Come follow me. I'm right here on Instagram. Jimmy Rants is the username over on Instagram. Go follow us there. We do go live Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. Eastern Time, right here on the Jimmy Rants Instagram page. We also simulcast live over here on Facebook, where Audrey and Vicky and Carol Ann just popped in to say hey and be here. Thank you guys for being here today. And Debbie and Jessica, you guys keep flooding in. Thank you for being here today. We're also over here on Twitch. And if you haven't joined us on Twitch, we have several people on Twitch, but Cat got your tongue today's Twitch. You're not talking to me yet. But go download the Twitch app, TWITCH. It's on any device that you have. You can download the Twitch app, and on there, follow the username Jimmy Moore Rants, and you'll be able to watch the show live as we do it. If you missed the live, though, you can watch it on the replay right here on the Instagram page for Jimmy Rants. It's on IGTV just as soon as this is over. We also have it over on the Twitch app when this is over, and then also at JimmyRants.com. Hello, Shirley, over on the main page. Thank you guys for being here. And Marnie, appreciate you guys coming in. So today is Wednesday, and so just a reminder, on Wednesdays I do a show called the Living La Vida Low Carb Show. It is my long-running health podcast that I've done for many years, since 2006. And today's interview is a lady named Dr. Kristen Bear. So Dr. Bear here on Instagram, she goes by the username Doctoring Keto. Well, Kristen and I had a really nice conversation recently all about the state of keto in the culture and how she's using it with patients and trying to change the scientific community. Really fascinating conversation. So you can go watch it when you're done watching Jimmy Rants over on YouTube. I also have it up on my Living Low Carb Man page over on IGTV on Instagram. Or you can listen to it on the Living La Vida Low Carb Show, which will air just usually by the time I'm off the air with Jimmy Rants. It's up on the podcast. So wherever you listen to podcasts, the Living La Vida Low Carb Show. So go check that out today, you guys. But today I have a really interesting topic to talk to you about. Because we know that keto has gained a lot of favor over the past few years in our culture. And part of the reason for that, one of the ways that these food trends, diet trends kind of take hold is when we have famous people latch onto it. I remember many years ago when low carb was kind of flailing in the late 2000s, people were always asking me, what's it going to take for people to embrace low carb? And I flat out said, somebody famous is going to have to talk about it. Somebody famous is going to have to go out there and say, I did the low carb diet and I changed my health. I improved my conditioning if it's an athlete. Well, guess what? That's what's happened. We've had lots of athletes. We've had LeBron James, most famously. We've had lots of actresses, people like Halle Berry with type 1 diabetes, and she's a big fan of keto. So that kind of thing is what has always been the way that we promote the message and why keto has gotten out there in a very big way in recent years. But with eyeballs and with notoriety to keto comes a lot of jealousy and comes a lot of distortion of what keto is. And a couple of years ago, we saw this with the famous Biggest Loser trainer, Jillian Michaels. She was trying to promote a new book, and so she came out and she just trashed keto with all the accusations you can think of. Well, at least, to Jillian's defense, at least she's in the industry of weight loss and health. Where it gets squirrely is where you have actresses, musicians, and other people that would come out and speak against the ketogenic diet. And that's what we have here today with the story I'm going to tell you about here in just a second. But first, as I was doing research for this story, I found this one from just a few months ago. Actress dies after being on a prolonged ketogenic diet, and experts are warning of the consequences. So this is the kind of thing that passes for journalism. So apparently, and I think this was in India, the sudden demise of an actress, 27 years old, named Mishti Mukherjee, was due to kidney failure, and it left the fitness enthusiasts and health experts perplexed about what this means about a long-term, prolonged ketogenic diet. It's a fad among people wanting weight loss. The shocking demise of the actress stirred up popularity and interest in the diet. The excessive consumption of protein creates a burden on the kidneys, which eventually affects the kidney function and will lead to renal failure. Do they really believe all this bullshit when they write this? Like, seriously? And they act like we don't remember history. Like, I've been around a long time. And some days, guys, it's a curse that I'm the old man in the community. But in other ways, I go, they're just repeating the same stuff they were doing when I first started online in 2005. This is not new. They've been making these claims about the Atkins diet and low-carb diet. And then it went to the paleo diet, and then the ketogenic diet, and now the carnivore diet. They're just going to keep on with the same talking points. For the record, there is no danger if you don't already have some kind of kidney damage. There is no danger in excessive protein from eating a ketogenic diet, and it most certainly will not harm your kidney function or lead to renal failure. So they say because of that, that's why you do not need to follow it over a long period of time. And so they go over what the keto diet is, But prolonged intake of having fat in the diet has a high risk of increasing your cholesterol. I think we put that to rest. I wrote a whole book about it called Cholesterol Clarity, and eating saturated fat and eating cholesterol does not raise your cholesterol. There is no such disease as high cholesterol. As desperately as they want people to believe that, there is no such thing as high cholesterol as a disease. And so high cholesterol really doesn't really tell you anything, high cholesterol. And also high protein puts pressure on the kidneys. And you can report low blood pressure, which in the long run will result in heart disease as well. So in the quest to keep your heart healthy, don't let your blood pressure go too high and don't let your blood pressure go too low. Well, we need the Goldilocks like blood pressure. I think they're just like grabbing at straws here. So they cite some study out of Harvard, blah, 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 blah. And they're dissing on red meat, talking about higher incidence of kidney stones, excretion of calcium in the urine, blah, 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 blah. So anyway, this kind of stuff gets out there in the mainstream. And guess who reads about fellow members of the entertainment community? It's members of the entertainment community. And one such member is who we're going to talk about here today. Her name is Jameela Jamil. And yes, if you're just joining us, we are talking about this actress, Jameela Jamil. And she is currently warning celebrities against promoting the keto diet. So there's a picture of her on the screen. You may not just immediately recognize her, but maybe she looks a little bit familiar if you are a fan of American television and you watch The Good Place. There she is on The Good Place. Ted Danson, I believe, stars in that. And who's that? Kristen Bell is there in that picture with her. So she's out there in Hollywood. She's from the UK, and so has done some radio and movie and TV work there. But this lady right here, Jameela Jamil, if I'm mispronouncing her name, I apologize. I'm not trying to disparage her. Jameela Jamil. Well, I'm just going to call her Jameela Jamil. However you say her name, that's her right there. But she came out very strongly recently in opposition to the ketogenic diet. And I was thinking, okay, where is she coming from? So instead of just being knee-jerk reaction, I started looking into her a little bit trying to figure out, okay, why is she going after keto? So what I found was she's actually very much against something I'm against, and that's the diet industry and how there are a lot of vultures and companies and individuals trying to take advantage of people. And so I was like, whoa, okay, I can get on board with that. And what happened was she just kind of grouped keto into that. So I'm going to get into the keto stuff here in a minute, but I wanted to tell you, at least start off on a positive note, what I agree with about Jameela Jamil's position on like the industry. So here's an article from the Daily Mail. I'm so sick of this, says Jameela Jamil, slamming an irresponsible move to advertise diet shakes on Instagram, as she insists celebrities should list all the potential side effects if they're going to push a product. So she called out one of her fellow industry influencers and criticized her for an irresponsible move to advertise the diet shake. She's been outspoken in her stance against diet products in general. Also insisted that all the side effects should be listed. And I think that's a good idea. Like if there is a product that has known side effects and you're not telling your followers about said side effects, then I think that is irresponsible. So here's the post. I'm going to show it to the main feed first. But here's the main post from the influencer, and here's where Jameela said, hey, you need to post the side effects for them. And so that's what she's known for doing. She's also taken aim at the Kardashian sisters on several occasions, criticizing their promotion of products like flat tummy tea and appetite-suppressing lollipops. In 2019, in the New York Times, the Kardashians were asked about all this backlash that Jameela has brought on them, and their responses only prompted the actress to accuse them of... I loved it. This is also British culture coming through in Jameela's words. They're a little more blunt than we are here in America. She says they're making money, the Kardashians, off, quote, the blood and diarrhea of teenage girls with eating disorders. Yeah, don't pull any punches there, Jameela. So when asked about the criticism, Kris Jenner said, I don't live in the negative energy space. 90% of the people are really excited. You know, I think it's okay to hold celebrities and influencers accountable for their actions. And especially if they're peddling a product that they're making money off of. If there are known side effects or known issues related to that, yeah, let your followers know. Like if and I wouldn't, by the way, but if I had a sponsor as an influencer, if I had a sponsor that I knew if you ate their sugar-free chocolate, for example, and they had some sweetener in there that gave you diarrhea, I'd be like, all right, there is a sweetener in here that in some people causes diarrhea. I would not ever have one like that, by the way. But if I did, that's what I would do. I would give you the full disclosure. Jameela calls the Kardashians irresponsible for what they advertise. If you're too irresponsible to own up to the fact that you have a personal trainer, a nutritionist, a chef, a surgeon to help achieve your aesthetic goals rather than this laxative product, be sure to tell all of your followers about the side effects. If you don't do it, then I guess I have to, she wrote in a post where Khloe Kardashian had posted about meal replacement shakes. So, that's kind of interesting. Let's see if there's anything else in here before we get to the keto stuff. If you joined us late, we're talking about this actress named Jameela Jamil. She's famous for being on television in the Ted Danson show and on CBS. So go check it out if you hadn't. I like that show. It's a good show. But she is calling out some of the fellow celebrities. The Good Place is the name of the show, in case I didn't say it. She's calling out some of her fellow celebrities and influencers for basically promoting these products without really giving the warning. So I'm showing you the good things that I agree with before we get into the keto. But this also kind of sets the tone. She's been doing this for a few years in the diet industry. She's been calling out things that she thinks is BS. So she says, essentially, F the young, impressionable people, or those struggling with an eating disorder. We just want your money. That's pretty much how she's describing a lot of these people. I've been given these same opportunities to flog every bit of this same stuff for money. I just don't do it, so they have to. Thank you. Next. Their pockets are lined with blood of teenage girls. She doesn't hold back. She doesn't hold back. And I love that. I love that. I'm trying to see if there's anything else. Be smarter. This is on the fault of the little girls. Don't blame the grown billionaire adults preying on your insecurity and fear. Prey on the patriarchal value. Women are only valuable if they meet a certain aesthetic societal standard. She just doesn't hold back. She said, I think celebrities have now been exposed. F them all. Okay, I think enough of that. You get the point. This lady is not new to the block of being critical of parts of the weight loss and health industry. And I agree with her on that. Like, I think there's a lot of shysters in the weight loss world that are seeking to prey on desperate, especially young women who just want to lose weight, look good, blah, 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 all the things that society puts on them. So I can appreciate that righteous indignation as it relates to that stuff. So good for her. The problem is she's turned her attention to keto. And I have a couple of news stories here that have quotes from her about what her issue is with keto. And again, if you joined us late, actress Jameela Jamil is now warning celebrities and other influencers about promoting the keto diet. She says, no, and let's find out why. This is from the Tribune.com or Tribune.com. Celebrities and influencers, this is her talking now, please stop pushing the keto diet on people who do not need to follow the diet for medical reasons. She posted that on Instagram recently. It can create all kinds of disturbances for people's bodies, including their vital organs, and they do not have the same access to healthcare that you do. Okay, so there's a mixture of a lot of things in there. Here she is, a celebrity. Now, celebrities are pretty good at knowing diets. They know all the ins and outs of diets. They've tried various diets. They have to get prepared for roles, for movies and TV shows. And so they know how to lose weight very well, and they know how to gain weight very well, and they know kind of some of the ins and outs of the various diets. The problem is their perception of diets is based on their own experience with said diets. And so I don't know what happened with the keto diet and Jameela Jamil, but apparently it weren't good. So here she is talking directly to celebrities and influencers, and I'm going to paint the picture. I'm going to imagine what the picture is. She probably was scrolling on Instagram, and she saw some ads for something about keto. And then she scrolled a little more on Instagram, and she saw, on Instagram where they have the little hashtag ketogenic or hashtag keto diet, and then they have some posts. So she probably saw something like that. And she kept scrolling. Oh, keto, drink my keto tea and you'll lose weight in 30 days or less, da 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 da. So she probably got caught in the scroll, I guess, numbness that happens where you're scrolling and you see stuff. You're scrolling and you see stuff. Trust me, I get that way all the time. As I'm scrolling through and I'm seeing certain claims being made about keto, I'm like, holy crap. So that's one perspective of why I think she got to this point of calling out the keto diet. The second one is, like I said earlier, she probably had some kind of a negative experience with it, and or she probably does a vegan diet. And so vegan and plant-based dieters do not like the keto diet because it does include animal foods. Now, you can do keto without animal foods. It's harder, but it's still possible. So I'm thinking there's like this confluence of things that made her snap and say all these things. So she's probably seeing some of her fellow celebrities having a hashtag ad, and then it's some product like she called out the Kardashians. So that's probably where this came from. Stop pushing the keto diet onto people who do not need to follow the diet for medical reasons. Look, keto is a state in your body. It's a metabolic state. And for those of you that don't know, I did write a book or 2 or 10 about the keto diet. This is my most famous one, Keto Clarity. So I'm not just talking out of my butt. I am coming at it from a little bit of an authoritative position here. Don't need to follow the diet for medical reasons. Look, there are a lot of medical reasons to be on a ketogenic diet, but epilepsy is not the only reason you want to be on a ketogenic diet. We have very strong evidence that if you have any kind of metabolic disease, insulin resistance, obesity, keto is a pretty good option for you, and especially when you turn to real whole foods that go along with that nutritional choice. That's going to be healthy. Type 2 diabetes, heart disease, cancer, Alzheimer, all of those have efficacy, and of course, obesity. So this idea that stop pushing the keto diet onto people who do not need to follow the diet. No, the vast majority of the population could do very well on a keto diet. And I would give the qualifier a well-formulated ketogenic diet. Not one that includes a lot of little extra things that they're trying to sell you, but the keto diet as prescribed and as we wrote about in Keto Clarity. And here's where it gets a little bit squirrely, Jameela, that you lost me. It can create all kinds of disturbances for people's bodies. Like what? Like what disturbances? Oh, you mean the disturbance of lowering my blood sugar? Yeah, it's going to disturb blood sugar because it's going to really lower it. You mean the disturbance in my insulin levels because my fasting insulin is going to go way down? Is that the disturbance? Oh, no, that can't be it. It must be inflammation levels, which, also happen to go down into healthy levels. Blood pressure, that also goes down. Is that the disturbance? What disturbance? It's easy to say these kinds of things, but then not say anything about what you're talking about. Including vital organs, she says. The ketogenic diet is incredibly protective for lots of organs in your body, namely your heart, your pancreas, and your liver, and your brain. All vital organs in the body. All of them get much healthier on a ketogenic diet. What are you talking about? Disturbance in your vital organs. And they do not have the same access to healthcare that you do. So there's kind of a reference to minorities who may not have access and poorer people who may not have access to all the resources healthcare-wise that if something were to happen to you. But here's the thing. What's going to happen to you? You're eating real whole foods. You're nourishing your body. Like, that sentence has no sense whatsoever. We had 186 studies in the back of Keto Clarity. Jameela Jamil, if you want to take the time to read it, I really wish she would reach out. I would send her a copy of Keto Clarity. If you want to take the time to read it, there are lots of reasons, positive reasons, for going on a keto diet. It's not what she's saying, but she's not done. She also highlighted the phenomenon of before and after pictures, and I agree with her on this, by the way, stating that the latter obviously involves extreme editing to portray false identities and physiques. I think she's dead right on that. It's why I'm not a fan of the before and after. Look, if you're a success story, please be a before and after. But I think sometimes when celebrities and influencers put them up like they do in the manner that they do, they can use some of the distortions that she's talking about. Now, I know some legit people in my life, a lot of you guys who watch Jimmy Rants, who you've had a phenomenal before and after ketogenic diet success. So you should be very proud of that, not trying to discourage you. But perception is reality for a lot of people, and they see some famous person who supposedly had a before and after, and they've been brushed up, and other things happen. So Jameela Jamil says, stop with the BS before and afters, especially the ones where in the after your trousers are higher, your hair and makeup is done, you're smiling, the lighting is better, and you're airbrushing. Oh, she is calling them out for everything. It's a predatory time for women, especially in regards to their weight. So see, she's very much trying to call out the BS. And I love that. Like, I don't want this episode of Jimmy Rants to be piling on Jameela Jamil, even though she's got things on keto wrong. I think she's so right about the perceptions that are put out there and the expectations, especially on women for weight loss. I like what she's saying here. All right, so let's get back to what she says about keto. To anyone seeing these posts about keto and losing weight over 2 weeks, it's just water weight and not real fat loss. Jameela, yes, of course, every diet in the first couple of weeks has water weight loss. That literally is the dumping of the glycogen stores, and especially when you eat a ketogenic diet, it's rapid dumping of the glycogen stores because you're shifting your body over from being a sugar burner over to a fat burner. Well, the reason why you have a lot of water weight loss early on is there's this substance in your muscles called glycogen. Okay, so glycogen is the stored sugar that is in all the muscles in your body. Every muscle in your body has stored glycogen. Well, guess how it stores it? It stores that glycogen in water. So when you shift your body from being primarily a sugar burner over to fat burner, and it does take usually about 2 to 4 weeks for that to happen, you pee a lot more and you're going to be dumping lots and lots of water. They say that, you guys, as if it's a bad thing. And the whole water weight loss thing is so overused. It's been happening since I came online in 2005. Oh, well, low carb and Atkins only work. This is what they said back then. Only works because you dump water weight and all you lose is water. I'm like, so I lost initially that year 180 pounds of water? Like, come on. So the first couple weeks, it is primarily water, but you're still losing some fat. And then there's this steady fat loss from there. They're not talking about, and she's most certainly not talking about here, that you can still continue to have fat loss at a healthy clip of about 1 to 2 pounds a week, generally, depending on how much weight you need to lose. But that first 2 weeks, you're always going to have a big dump of water. So yes, in the 2-week water weight loss, it is, or weight loss, it is water weight. And not, quote, real fat loss to that degree. But that's not the point. The point is you shifting the body over so that now you can commence fat loss. So she's kind of misleading people there a little bit. Take it from someone who has done every diet under the sun. This is, again, Jameela Jamil writing. The weight will come back thick and fast and then some as soon as you reintroduce carbs. Well, there's an answer to that. Don't reintroduce carbs, Jameela. If you're truly going to be serious about a ketogenic diet, you're not reintroducing the level of carbohydrates you did pre-keto. See, she's in diet mentality. You know, and bless her, that's the way she wants to live her life, in diet mentality, so be it. But most people who switch over to a ketogenic diet, it's not diet for weight loss. It's diet to be healthy, and it's diet for much longer than 2 weeks. And so there is no putting carbs back in the diet and getting thick and fast and coming back on again. It doesn't happen when you stick with it, and that's the point. Now she's getting into a little bit of science that she just doesn't understand. Most humans need carbs. Jameela, we have essential fatty acids, the fat that you eat. We have essential amino acids, which is the protein you eat. Guess what the requirement is for carbohydrates. Oh, you don't know? Oh, well, let me educate you. None! 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 You don't need carbohydrates. The body is extremely efficient at making the glucose your body needs to survive. Your brain has glucose requirements, your heart has glucose requirements, various functions in the body. But guess what? That doesn't mean you need to eat carbohydrates in order to get that. The body has this process, this beautiful process where it can convert both protein and some amounts of fat into glucose. It's a whole process called gluconeogenesis. It's very demand driven, that when the body needs it, it'll make it. Bada bing, bada boom, out comes the glucose. Your body will not be without glucose. So there is no requirement for humans to have carbohydrate. So because she makes this statement of most humans need carbs, she says to her fans, you better stay away from this and other fad diets. If you really want to change your body to whatever, do it for the right reasons, the right way, slowly, not guided by some newfound influencer and their fast weight loss guru predator. I agree with her there. I don't think keto is about fast weight loss. Keto is about healthy weight loss and healthy living. Like I was talking to somebody just yesterday trying to help her on the phone because she was having trouble with things she was doing in her carnivore diet. And it was all predicated on her weight. And I said, well, there's the first mindset shift you should make. Take the focus off the weight and try to focus on being healthy. And through being healthy, weight loss should come. Our society has that backwards. She also revealed several screenshots of what seemed to be other people's experiences with keto. Fans were sharing horror stories of being on the ketogenic diet, specifically developing pancreatitis, disease of the pancreas from eating a ketogenic diet. Somebody tell me how the pancreas would become diseased eating keto. Literally, that is one of the key organs in the body during a ketogenic diet that experiences massive healing, because guess what? When you're eating keto, you're not having the pancreas work as hard, pumping out insulin, trying to keep your blood sugar under control. It's just not when you keep carbs reduced. Your pancreas isn't working hard, so why would you develop pancreatitis? That makes no sense. Gallbladder removal. We know that gallbladder issues happen long before you go on a diet. And so if you go on a keto diet and you happen to have like your gallbladder removed, guess what? That didn't happen because of keto. You know actually how your gallbladder gets damaged. A low-fat diet. So if you eat a low-fat diet over a sustained period of time, your gallbladder is designed to create bile to help digest your fats in your body as you're eating them. Well, guess what? If you don't eat fats, that bile becomes stagnant, and that's when you start having the issues with the gallbladder. Not because of a ketogenic diet, not because of eating fat and animal source foods. It's a low-fat diet. Brain imbalances? No, your brain gets optimized when you eat keto. These are all things that she said some of her followers said they had when they went keto. What do you mean by brain imbalance? Mood gets under control. You have a sharpness in your brain. Brain health is actually optimized. I don't get the brain imbalance. And other after effects. Like, see, this is such a generic criticism of keto, it's almost hard to even respond to it. Then she concludes in this article, I got one more article after this. Don't take my word for it about keto. Just read every medical journal article you can find on it. I'm so glad she brought up the science. What do I do here on Jimmy Rants quite often? I take the latest science and I give my commentary about it. Sometimes it's bad studies and I explain what's wrong with some of those studies, and those must be some of the studies she's referring to. But sometimes it's good studies and I highlight what's good about the ketogenic diet. And again, I wrote a whole book that had 186 references in the back all about the science, the medical journal articles about keto. And she's saying, oh, just look at all the medical journals. They'll all tell you what I'm saying is true. But no, the science is legit. Like, I can appreciate that she's trying to educate her followers and give them good information, but she's doing nothing of the sort. I really do wish she would learn more. And I would be happy to be a part of that learning process. I would send her all of my keto books here. I've got the Keto Cure, Ketogenic Cookbook, Real Food Keto. I mean, I've got all these keto books I've written. Be happy to help educate her. Learn the history of the ketogenic diet. And if your situation fits in that history and you need it medically, I hear it can be extraordinary for those health conditions. So she's specifically referring to epilepsy. So 1920 was when they were using the ketogenic diet quite prominently for controlling seizures in kids with epilepsy. And that's what she's referring to. But it goes well beyond epilepsy. Epilepsy was 100 years ago. We're in 2021. We have a lot more information and a lot more legit science as it relates to the ketogenic diet. So I'm a little disappointed. I mean, she is an actress, so I'm not trying to say she's supposed to be an expert. But if you're going to spout off things about keto and those things aren't true, I'm going to call you out about it. All right, I had one more article. Let's see if she had anything else. Stop pushing keto, who people don't need it. Take it from me. Every diet under the sun. Stay away from all fad diets. If you want to change your body, do it the right way, slowly. I think most people that go keto, it is the right way, and it is slowly. I know some people do lose weight very fast eating keto, so I suppose maybe that jades her position on this. But most people that I know, it's slow. In fact, it's so slow people get frustrated by it because it's so slow. But even beyond the weight loss, it makes you healthier and it's healing you day by day by day, even if the weight isn't coming off that fast. And so that's the thing that's missing in this discussion as well. Keto will destroy your liver. No. You know what destroys your liver is fructose. So that's how you get fatty liver. Lots and lots of fructose. My dad did keto. It gave him pancreatitis and had to get surgery over it. No. Keto did not do that. It didn't. It just doesn't happen. So they got an expert in this story. This is in yahoo.com. Barbara Ruse, a registered dietitian, says keto is a medically prescribed diet for autism and supervised medically issues. So yeah, autism and epilepsy tend to be the two reasons to use it traditionally. It's easy for individuals to fall prey to diets that get popular. Well, they're popular because they're more than just about autism and about epilepsy. Controls seizures, eat lots of fatty foods, lowers blood sugar, gets you into ketosis. They're explaining what it is. The diet became controversial in recent years. Why is it controversial? What is controversial about a diet that calls for eating real, whole, unprocessed foods? Can somebody answer that one for me? They always talk about keto is a dangerous and controversial diet. And it's almost like when you use that term, you're trying to put a there that ain't there, right? So they've always called that. They call it dangerous and controversial because it's hard to maintain. Who thinks keto is hard to maintain? I think once you're in ketosis and you start in a groove and you start kind of doing all the everything with the diet, it's pretty darn easy to maintain. You're not hungry, got lots of energy, you feel good, you're losing weight. Like it's not hard to maintain, so I'm not sure what they mean. Many think it deprives you of essential nutrients because it doesn't have a lot of fruits and vegetables on keto. Again, I've been at this game a very long time. Do you know when I started in 2005 blogging, they were saying these same things about the Atkins diet. They pretend like nutrients are only found in fruits and vegetables. There are so many nutrients, and I would say more bioavailable nutrients in animal-based foods than any plant matter. It is. Go look it up. The top 20 most nutrient-dense foods in the world. They made a graph of it. Maria and Craig Emmerich in their book Keto actually have this graph if you want to go look at it. But the top 20 most nutrient-dense foods in the world, all animal-based foods, mostly beef products. Not the superfoods, not kale, not quinoa, not blueberries, but beef, beef liver, beef heart, beef brain. It's pretty amazing. So the pitfalls I see most frequently with keto diets, this is that dietitian speaking again. There's no fruit. There's no starchy vegetables. You don't have any legumes like beans and no whole grains. You miss out on all the vital nutrients and you're potentially harming your health. You know what they're relying on is the collective stupidity, or at least ignorance of basic nutrition concepts by the culture. And they're right. Most people, and I'll point to Jimmy Moore's circa 2004, I didn't know anything about nutrition. Obviously, I allowed myself to get very big and unhealthy. Didn't know anything about it. And so when you tell people, wow, you're not eating fruit, you're not eating starchy vegetables, you're not having beans or whole grains, how are you going to get your nutrients? You don't know that there's plenty of nutrients in meats and eggs and butter and so forth and so on. It's a very kind of crafty way for them to paint this and then put out that warning, oh, it's going to harm your health. Like, doing the keto diet can lead to what's called the keto flu, which has symptoms of fatigue, headache, lightheadedness, nausea, and constipation. See, they're assuming you don't follow somebody like me who can tell you that's an electrolyte imbalance, who tell you that that's extremely temporary, only at the very beginning. But they make it seem like you catch this flu that you just can't get rid of as long as you're eating low-carb ketogenic. There are red flags that Jamil, going back to Jameela Jamil, there's been evidence that the keto diet harms the pancreas, liver, and other organs, like she talked about. With so much fat to metabolize, the diet can make your pre-existing liver condition worse. Well, number one, if you come into keto with a pre-existing liver condition, that ain't keto that's causing the liver condition. Can we be clear about that? And I've had this happen before. People will write to me in a DM. Oh, I went on the keto diet last weekend and I just went to the doctor and he says I have heart disease. Did keto give me heart disease? I'm like, really, dude? You think it just happens magically that quickly that you developed this long-term, decades-building chronic disease? No, all the crappy garbage you ate leading up to going keto is what gave you heart disease. But now that you have heart disease, keto is going to be part of the answer because you want to lower insulin and inflammation and all the things that made that happen. It's just funny to me how people kind of, oh, I ate one bite of steak. I'm going to die tomorrow of cancer. I got diagnosed. And I'm like, you think that bite of steak did that to you? Really? Really? Studies have shown that pancreatitis can occur on a ketogenic diet. Oh, I want to see a randomized controlled clinical trial that shows that keto causes pancreatitis. It does not exist. If it does, I'm happy to look at it. And in fact, anything I claim on Jimmy Rants, if you have something that you want to challenge me, that you have information about, please DM me over on Instagram at Living Low Carb Man or at Jimmy Rants, either one, and I'll be happy to take a look at it. But there is no randomized control clinical trial showing that keto leads to pancreatitis. All right, so Jameela Jamil. Did not know who she was before today. I'm going to put her on the screen one more time over here on Instagram. There she is in the CBS show, The Good Place, with Kristen Bell and Ted Danson. Here's her professional picture. But yeah, I like some things she has to say, because calling out the weight loss industry and some of the shenanigans in it, I think she's dead right about that. I think she should be applauded for trying to keep them honest, because they are making billions of dollars in this industry, all at the holy altar of weight loss that so many, especially young girls, deeply desire. And so I love that she's doing that. But I just wish she would read a book like Keto Clarity and get a little bit more educated about what a ketogenic diet can be in a positive way. All of these negative things that she mentioned, I don't think there was one single thing that she mentioned about the ketogenic diet that's actually accurate. And so I guess we had to set the record straight here today on Jimmy Rants. All right, let's come here first to Instagram, then over to Facebook, finally over to Twitch. Thank you all for being here today on Jimmy Rants. JimmyRants.com is the website. Let's see what you have to say about this one. Pursuing health will end up with sustainable fat loss. Yes, Joshua, I was telling this person yesterday, I randomly help people on the phone from time to time who need a little tweaking in their diet. I'm not trained in it. I'm not a coach or anything like that. But I talked to this girl a couple of days ago for about 20 minutes, and she's on carnivore. And that was one of the things that she was just like, yeah, I need to weight loss. And I was like, have you ever put the focus on getting healthy? Oh, well, yeah, I'm trying to be healthy by losing weight. I'm like, no, flip it. Try to get weight loss and fat loss by making your body healthy. That's kind of the way I wish we could frame these discussions, that the health benefits come long before the weight loss comes. Yes, you'll have a little bit of a surge of weight loss at the beginning, but most of the time, the healing, the metabolic healing, happens within just a few days of starting keto. Once you're making that shift over from sugar burn to fat burner, you're getting that healing to begin right away. My mother lost her gallbladder to Nutrisystem Ultra Fat in the 80s, says Cariana. Yeah, gallbladder is when you don't eat a lot of fat. The gallbladder's like, wait a minute, we're supposed to be having fat in the diet so that this bile that we're producing has somewhere to go. Because the body will stop making bile. In fact, in Real Food Keto, my book Real Food Keto, we mentioned that you have to eat fat in order for your gallbladder to function the way it's supposed to function. And so when you don't eat fat in the diet, at least not in the quantities that you need to be healthy, you'll run into trouble and end up having gallbladder issues. Joshua says, sound like a bunch of people doing dirty keto and not really doing low carb. I think that's the key, Joshua. I think if we're going to promote healthy keto, primarily the diet should be consisting of real whole foods. Now, there are times when you can have here and there a treat, and I am not opposed to those things. I see my friend Round to It Kitchen is on here. She makes some delicious treats. I've shown you guys before on camera. And so there are occasions when you can have it, but it's not the sole sustenance that you eat on a day-to-day basis. Jen says they are buying all the products that say keto now, talking about just regular consumers, and they have so many bad ingredients, so they're probably saying brain fog when they're just 2 weeks in and haven't really given it their all yet. Yes, I was in the grocery store the other day. One of the grocery stores in my area is shutting down, so I was seeing if any of the products that I like to buy I could stock up on before they shut the store down. And when I was in the refrigerated section, they had a keto wrap, because it had keto really big on the front. And I'm like, oh, I hadn't seen this before. And when I looked at it, I'm like, wow, that looks like it's got carbs in it. So I flip it on the back, and the very first ingredient was whole wheat. How do you call that keto? Whole wheat is the first ingredient, and that's keto? Keto is more than just the carbs. Keto is a bit of the quality of the carbs, and grains are highly inflammatory. Wheat is one of the most extraordinarily inflammatory ones in there. They also have vegetable oils in there, which was also inflammatory. So I'm like, my God, like people buy this because it says keto and it's not keto. So you're right. That is probably what's happening for a lot of these people. And they think they're doing really good keto. Round 2 at Nutrition writes, keto works for a lot, but weight loss and health shouldn't be easy or against the paradigm, right? So let's make all the excuses made of whole cloth. Yeah. They always do that to obfuscate the issue. All right. Thank you, Instagram. Let's pop over now to my Facebook page. I'll be right over to you guys here in a second. Twitch. What's up, Facebook? See what you have to say about this one. Anybody know Jameela Jamil? Have you watched her stuff? Jill says she sounds as thick as mince to me. Okay, I will leave that comment right there. Lynn says, true knowledge is powerful. Keto carnivore saved my life, literally. Yeah, it saved a lot of people's lives. And not always just weight loss. That's what I hate about the industry is, oh, you're on a diet, you're trying to lose weight. And it's like, no, I just want to be healthy. I want my mood to be calm. I want my brain on fire, have good cognition. Like all of those things are important for a lot of people. So she doesn't understand it in that terms. All right. Thank you, Facebook. Let's pop over here now to Twitch. What's up, Twitch? See if I can get your comments in here. Marcus says statins, which is a cholesterol lowering medication, cause a lot more kidney failure than keto. Yeah. I can't even imagine the mechanism behind why a ketogenic diet would harm your kidneys. I guess if you have pre-existing kidney disease and you start eating a lot of protein, that could be problematic, but that's not keto's fault. You had pre-existing kidney disease, so it doesn't even make sense. Cariana says, I bet she's vegan. Well, she might be. I couldn't find what her diet of choice is. I just know she's poo-pooing on keto pretty hard. Kelly says, the ironic thing is so many carnivores are former vegans and it royally freaked them up. Good thing I don't get any diet advice from actresses. Well, you don't, Kelly. The problem with this cult of personality society that we live in is a lot of people do. And a lot of people trust their favorite celebrity if they promote something. And that's why these companies go to these actresses. And I admire Jameela for turning those down. Like she could very easily make some side hustle money when she's not doing an acting gig and get paid to promote these things. But she has ethics. Like I can admire that part of her, even if she says ugly things about keto. I admire that she's very much against kind of the industry games and tricks that are played just to prey on people's vulnerabilities. I expect problems with keto are because of too much protein and not enough fat. That can be a problem, probably for a lot of people. Cariana says, I'd blame the average person more if it weren't for the fact that the experts have been giving us the same wrong advice for 50 years. Yeah, people, it's hardwired into our heads to fear fat. It's hardwired into our heads to fear salt. It's hardwired into our heads that calories matter. Like all these things we believe about nutrition, maybe not some of us because we've been at this a while, but when you're deeply ingrained in diet culture, it's very hardwired from decades of propaganda. Like I remember I was a little kid when the dietary guidelines came out and we had to memorize the food pyramid. It was up on the wall in my elementary school classroom. So these images are very hard to shake. So you're right. And these same experts today are telling us the same wrong advice. Grizz says, I used to be so against keto because low carb got such a bad rap. Now I'm educated. Keto carnivore is the only thing that helps me heal chronic Lyme disease. Antibiotics never helped. And this is the thing that I wish Jameela Jamil and other people that poo-poo against keto would understand, is that it's life-changing for people and it goes well beyond weight loss. Weight loss is cool and all, but healing yourself from Lyme disease like you did, Grizz. So many people getting off of medications for all kinds of conditions, type 2 diabetics, getting their A1C to come into a non-diabetic range. Like all of these things are very cool. And of course, all the weight loss success stories as well. But even most of those weight loss success stories with keto would be the first to tell you that weight loss was the least interesting part of their story. The more interesting was the increase in energy, the increase in mood stabilization, having brain health that's just out the wazoo. Like, I have such a fast working brain now because of keto that I wish I could go back to college and get like a doctorate degree or something, because it's just that sharp for me now. And I would have loved to have had this brain when I was in my late teens, early 20s going through college. Thank you, Twitch. Christina says, a reason we don't buy cut de carb. Oh, talking about the wraps, the so-called keto wraps. Yeah, first ingredient, guys. I don't know about cut de carb, but this particular one I picked up in this grocery store, whole wheat was the very first ingredient. I'm going, can't call that keto. I almost said, I'm pulling your keto card. Get this out of here. Shannon says, what about maltodextrin or dextrose in sweets? It kicks you out of ketosis. People don't know purchasing products with them in it. Yeah. You're right, Shannon. Maltodextrin is generally a bulking agent in like powdered artificial sweeteners. It's a bulking agent. And basically in this thing that's supposed to be sugar-free, it's got sugar in it. And then, yeah, a lot of products have dextrose, maltodextrin. That dex is your clue that it's got sugar in it. And it's unfortunate. People just don't kind of equate those things. But you're right. Pay attention to all those things, which is why, as much as you can, embrace the real whole foods in your keto diet. And that's it for this episode of Jimmy Rants. JimmyRants.com is the website. And as always, you can engage live in the content. Come follow me. I'm right here on Instagram. Jimmy Rants is the username. We do go live Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. Eastern Time. Appreciate you guys being here today. We also simulcast on my Facebook page as well as over on Twitch. If you missed the live, you can watch it on the replay right here on Jimmy Rant's Instagram page, IGTV. Just as soon as this is over, it'll go right up there. It's also up over on Twitch. Go download the Twitch app. Follow Jimmy Moore Rants, and you can follow me over on Twitch. And I'm still in YouTube jail until Saturday, so all these episodes this week will not go up until Saturday, but I'll put them all up on Saturday so that they can be accessed there. And then finally, JimmyRants.com is the official website where you can see all the past episodes. And just a reminder, today is Livin' La Vida Low Carb Show podcast day. On Wednesdays, I have a brand new episode. Dr. Kristen Bear, a medical doctor working in the San Diego area. And she and I had a wonderful conversation all about keto and where it is in the culture, where it is in the research realm, where it is in her clinical practice. Really fascinating things going on there. So go watch it on YouTube. You can also watch it on my IGTV at my Livin' Low Carb Man page on Instagram, or you can listen to it on the Livin' La Vida Low Carb Show, Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, Spotify, all the usual places. So it'll be out there. Definitely go check it out. But tomorrow, you guys, come back tomorrow, because I have a Jimmy Rants all about something that I think we need now desperately more than ever before. How to critically think. Anybody want to know how you can critically think? The problem is, most of you that watch Jimmy Rants, you know how to critically think. You listen to what I say, you don't always agree, but you process what I share, and then you come up with your own conclusions. Well, a lot of people out there don't know how to critically think. We're going to teach them a little bit of 101 in critical thinking tomorrow, and that'll be here on Jimmy Rants. So until then, we'll see you then. All righty.